Scene 13. Time following morning, 3 a.m. Place, the bedroom in the Trescott residence. Trescott and Amanda are in bed.
My God. Whatever gave you cause to confront the police?
The man was being beaten.
And then you got beaten in return, and what's more, jeopardized the reputation of the school.
What do I care about the school's reputation? The school's a front. That's all, nothing more. They want to use you to break the union.
I didn't mean it the way it sounded. When I showed up in Mr. Walton's office and saw what condition you were in, I was shocked. I didn't know what to think.
What did you expect? The police beat me.
Is that all that happened?
What do you mean? Isn't that enough?
Did anyone else besides the police harm you?
Of course not.
I may be under the thumb of these white people, but I'm no fool. One look at your torn dress was more than enough proof that something more happened.
I got into a little scrape with one of the whores who was in the holding pen with me.
I wish I got into the prison soon. Nobody was telling me anything. I was frantic.
Look, Rufus, we gotta put this behind us.
I'm tired of acting the part of the house nigger. The hell with the school. The hell with everything. Let's get it out of here and go up north.
Give up everything? And do what? Go up north so you can land a $10 a week job as a porter and I work as a maid? No, thank you. We belong here. This is our home.
But after what happened to you?
What happened to me is not important. What is important is that we survive, because the day will arrive when things change and justice triumphs.
Amanda, I hope you're right, because if you're not, when that day comes and justice is denied, there will be an orgy of violence so great that it will bring down the entire country, with me leading the charge if I'm still alive.
Stop your foolish talk. You're a school teacher, not some kind of rabble-rouser. Right now, I need to get some rest, so let's just go to sleep and not talk about this anymore.
End of scene 13. Scene 14. Time, next day. Place, Covington's office. Seated behind the desk is Covington and Junior. Seated in front of the desk are Feddersen and Kilkenny.
You can't fool us. We know what you're up to, using the cover of labor management talks to rile up people and instigate revolution. You're just a bunch of Bolsheviks, or even worse, they're dupes.
You're talking pure nonsense. We're not fronting for anybody. We want a fair and equitable contract for our members. That is our agenda.
You expect us to believe that? You're just buying time. The day before yesterday, the police arrested one of your operatives who was openly preaching revolution right here on our streets.
Sir, if I may, I think you got your facts wrong. We do not employ agitators in our organization, and I, for one, have absolutely no use for them.
What you people want is to rile up the public so as to drive me out of town and take over my operation. I will tell you now, that will not happen. Do you hear? Your people are lucky to have jobs, good paying jobs. Instead, you're just trying to destroy me.
That is not true. You're making huge profits.
How do you presume to know how much money this company makes?
We don't presume anything, sir. We know for a fact that this company can afford to meet our demands. You're just being stubborn.
Why, I know.
Gentlemen, you're barking up the wrong tree. It is not management that's dependent on you. It is your members who are dependent on us. And I hope I make myself clear. Now, I understand that you're demanding a 25% across-the-board pay raise for your members, a 48-hour work week, and health insurance coverage paid for your employer contributions. If we accede to your demands, this company will go out of business.
That is baloney. You can afford it easily. You just don't want to pay, period. You want to hoard the profits.
Now you're sassing me. I have a good mind to throw you out right now.
Enough of this petty bickering. Mr. Feddersen, by law, we are under no legal obligation to meet with you. Yet, as a matter of courtesy, we have set aside this valuable time to have this discussion, the purpose of which is to arrive at an amicable arrangement so as to keep this factory operating, which would be to the mutual benefit of both labor and management. But when you take advantage of our hospitality and good faith to plot insurrection, then that has gone a bit too far.
Mr. Walton, please speak plainly. You're talking in riddles. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Junior picks up the phone.
Are they here yet? Good, good, good. Show them in.
Junior hangs up the phone.
Soon to find out what I'm talking about.
2 police officers enter, dragging Bruce with them. Bruce is semi-conscious. He collapses onto a chair.
What happened to you? What did you do to this man?
That's not your concern. You know him, right?
We have no use for the likes of him.
So you do know him. You see, Mr. Covington, they do know him. What do you have to say now?
Did you invite us here to talk or try to intimidate us?
Not intimidate, rather to encourage you to drop your pretensions and just be open and honest with us as to your true intentions.
If you're suggesting that we are negotiating in bad faith, I can assure you that you are mistaken.
We're here to negotiate a contract, period.
No, you're here to try to shake us down by employing professional agitators, such as this gentleman here, to instigate the niggers to riot and help you take over the steel mill.
That's insane.
Take him away.
Yes, sir.
The police officer grabs Bruce by the collar and drags him off stage.
As you were saying.
Your charges are preposterous.
Preposterous, you say? Well, let me tell you this, and you can take this back to your membership. Your plot has been foiled, and if you do not retract your demands, we will begin replacing your members with the very same niggers that you and your Bolshevik friends were so callously plotting to turn against us.
That'll be the day. All the niggas are good for is doing grunt work. Our members are skilled workers.
No, my friend. Just like we trained your boys, most of whom are semi-illiterate, we'll train niggers too, such as the ones who attended the Trescott School. At least they know how to read and write.
From Trescott? Don't make me laugh. They don't know nothing about steel making.
Well, we'll teach them, even if we have to import teachers from England and Germany.
And Mr. Trescott is going along with this.
Of course, he is a good citizen.
Oh, those damn niggas undercutting us. Maybe we ought to teach them a lesson.
Listen, we don't like dealing with niggers any more than you do, but you're forcing our hand. Either you back down now, or we will lock
Or
you
maybe
out.
we will strike.
You do that and you'll be sorry, you damn Bolsheviks.
Be reasonable. You strike, and I can guarantee that your members will never set foot the inside of that steel mill again. So, what do you want to do, huh? The choice is yours.
I think they're bluffing. They have no more use for the niggas than we do.
Sure, this is no bluff. We are not going to allow one of the biggest steel mills in the country to be taken over by irresponsible rabble. And if it means training colored men to do your work, we will do it.
Sure. Okay, Walton, we've heard enough. Let's get out of here. All of a sudden, I find the air in here stifling.
If they do go out and strike, I will personally ask the President of the United States to send in troops.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Covington. Even pinko commies like Feddersen know when they're licked. To show our union friends that we are serious, I recommend immediately hiring 1 or 2 colors from the Trescott School as junior floor managers. And I'm sure the niggers would appreciate that. People up north call us racist.
End of scene 14. Scene 15. Time, 1947. Place, funeral parlor in Capital City. Rufus Trescott Jr. is dead. His body is lying in state in the casket, which is open. Among the numerous attendees paying their respects are Junior, Amanda, and Amanda's 20-year-old daughter, Denisha.
Well, I came over as soon as I heard the news.
That's very kind of you.
Hello, Denisha. You are looking lovely.
Thank you, Mr. Walton.
Your father was a great man. A credit to his people.
Yes, you should know.
Yes, I should. If it weren't for your husband, the steel mill would have closed and this community would have suffered. But instead, today we can all be proud of all that we have accomplished. Isn't that right, Amanda?
Of course it is, if you say so.
But let us not quibble during your time of loss.
A man enters. He is a reporter. His name is Ernie Thompson.
Mrs. Trescott, my name is Ernie Thompson, and I'm a reporter for the New York Evening Standard. I'd like to know if you'd like to make a statement.
My dear sir, this is neither the time nor the place to pester Mrs. Trescott. If you wish to make any inquiries, direct them through me.
And you are?
Azariah Walton, Jr.
Azariah Walton, Jr.? Wait a minute. Are you the same Walton who was responsible for breaking the Consolidated Steel strike back in 1920?
I wouldn't characterize my role any minor as it was in such flamboyant language.
Oh, I was just a young tyke at the time. But from what I read, all hell broke loose down here after you brought in a bunch of blacks to replace the white
There were
workers.
some local disturbances, but we were able to smooth things over.
After you asked the president to call in the troops, right?
Well, regrettably, we were left with no other option.
What do you have to say about the late Mr. Trescott?
He was a truly great man, a credit to his race and a role model for all Negroes who wish to advance in this society.
Amanda starts weeping.
Mother, what is it? Look what you've done. You have upset my mother.
And you are?
Denisha Trescott. Rufus Trescott was my father, and this is my mother.
First, on behalf of my paper, I'd like to extend our condolences.
Thank you.
And also apologize for barging in like this. But your father was a well-known public figure in the Negro community and throughout the nation.
Yes, I know, and we were all devastated by his passing. My father was a wonderful and loving man.
Excuse me, what's your name again, sir?
Ernie. Ernie Thompson, ma'am.
Mr. Thompson, let me assure you that I'm perfectly capable for speaking for myself.
Ma'am, I didn't mean any
This
disrespect.
is neither the time nor the place for you to make any statements.
I disagree. This is the perfect time and the perfect place to make statements, especially as it relates to the truth.
Could you elaborate on that?
No, she cannot elaborate.
I want to let you know that what happened in 1920 involved more than just a labor strike.
Mother, what's come over you? What are you talking about?
The lady's obviously too distraught to engage in meaningful conversation this time. Perhaps you should come back tomorrow.
You skunk! You bastard! I've been living a lie for 27 years!
Ernie takes out a pad and begins frantically taking notes.
Mr. Walton, what does she mean?
Your mother is delirious. I'll call an ambulance.
Don't you dare call an ambulance. In fact, just leave now! Why are you here anyway? You don't belong here! Don't listen to this man.
2 black men enter, both dressed in military uniforms. Their names are Phillip and Harold.
We heard a commotion. Is there a problem?
Philip, Harold, thank God. It's you. Please ask this gentleman to leave. He is upsetting me.
Excuse me, sir. Ms. Amanda is asking you to leave.
Do you know who you are talking to?
Yes, sir, we do know who you are. However, this is a family gathering and you're not family.
Why, you lousy stinking nigger?
Excuse me!
If you don't leave now, sir, I'll have to assist you.
If you so much put a finger on me, I'll call the police.
Why don't you just do that? Sir, I'm a major in the United States Army and fought the Nazis in Italy, France, and Germany. Now, I do not know what you did to get Miss Amanda so riled up at you, but your presence is upsetting her. And frankly, is beginning to upset me too. So please leave now.
Sir, if you don't mind.
You haven't heard the last of this.
Junior exits.
Thank you. My heroes, my wonderful heroes. Trescott School taught you very well.
If he's true to his word, there might be trouble.
If there is, we'll be ready for it.
Harold glances to the sidearm fixed in his belt.
Mother, I still don't understand what's going on.
After the service, you and I will talk. It's about time you learned the truth about everything.
Ernie continues frantically jotting notes on his pad. End of scene 15. Scene 16. Time, summer, 1957, 2 a.m. Place, a diner in Montgomery, Alabama. There is a man behind the counter. He is preparing to close the diner for the night. His name is Clark Henry. A police officer is sitting at the counter drinking a cup of coffee. The officer's name is Dale Tiergard.
Still hot outside?
That it is.
How's business?
Kind of slow lately, but I can't complain.
Yeah, you still have today's newspaper around? I want to find out how the Cards did today.
Oh, they won. They beat the Reds 3-1.
Ooh, that's great. That means I'm going to win $10 in this pool down at the station.
Oh, so you boys gamble.
Nah, it's just a baseball pool. It's innocent stuff, that's all.
I used to play the horses, but I gave it up. Too many variables to figure.
Like anything else, you can't let it take control of you. Well, it's supposed to be entertainment.
Not when money is involved, then it becomes business.
Tiergard finishes drinking his coffee.
I'll be leaving now. How much owe you?
It's on the house.
Oh, it's mighty kind of you.
Tiergard reaches into his pocket, pulls out some change, and places 2 quarters on the counter.
That's for the service.
And that's mighty kind of you, officer.
As Tiergard is exiting, Denisha and a young black man enter. His name is Axel Jones. They sit down at the counter.
We would like to order some food.
We're closed.
Excuse me, sir. Obviously, you're still open. We'd like to order some food.
Like I said, we're closed.
Looks like you're open to me.
I don't care what it looks like to you. I'm telling you that we are closed and that you have to leave. Officer, I'm having a problem.
Tiergard stops and turns around.
What's the problem?
I told these 2 here that I'm closed, but they're refusing to leave.
Is that true?
My friend and I came into this place, asked to be served, and we were refused service.
What's your name?
Why do you want to know my name?
Because I want to know who I'm talking to.
Officer, we don't want to make trouble. We just want to be served.
Well, the man told you that he's closed. Now, why don't you just leave?
Officer, we just got off the train, and this was the only place open, and we're hungry.
Where are you coming from?
New York City.
What are you doing here?
He's visiting me, I live here.
Yeah, where?
At the old Trescott School. My mother runs it.
So, Amanda Trescott is your mother? She had some nerve starting that smear campaign against Mr. Walton.
It was no smear campaign.
Well, to me it was. Mr. Walton was a fine man. Your mother had no cause to do what she did. You know, I think it's time for you and your boyfriend to leave.
You have no cause to order us to leave. We demand to be served.
What? You demand
Officer.
to be served? I don't care what you demand! The man said he's closing. I'm ordering you to leave now.
We're not leaving.
Officer.
Tier guard grabs his baton and hits Axel squarely on the head. Axel collapses onto the floor, bleeding heavily.
Axel, look what you've done!
Shut up! You're under arrest!
Tier guard grabs Denisha, spins her around, then pushes her roughly onto the counter and handcuffs her.
Get off me, leave me alone! I didn't do anything!
I told you to shut up!
Tier guard repeatedly hits Denisha on her back with his baton. Denisha keeps screaming.
No, no, no!
End of scene 16. Scene 17, time 1965. Place, the governor's office. Continuation of scene 1.
That's right, boys. I wasn't elected governor for nothing. We got work to do.
We'll teach the niggers once and for all.
Teach them what? We've been trying to teach them for over 300 years, and look where it's gotten us. Look, fellas, the time has passed when we can't just beat up we can just beat up on the Negro.
Well, what are you saying, Governor?
What I'm saying is that we have to develop more creative ways to communicate with the blacks. Busting heads just don't work anymore.
I don't know about that, Governor. We're dealing with a bunch of radicals who want to take over everything and put the niggers in power.
I know what they want.
Then why not just call out the police and bust a few heads?
You're not listening to me. That tactic does not work anymore. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to pull out a little surprise that will shake things up. You watch.
What do you have in mind?
Tomorrow you will find out.
End of scene 17. Scene 18, time next day. Place, the executive headquarters of the National Association for Racial Equality. Present are the Reverend Marvin Lewis Kane, the Reverend Rolf Dennis Abercrombie, Denisha, and a white man, Edward Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz is wearing a jacket on which is affixed a button with the slogan, "Justice Now."
I must disagree with your suggestion.
Look, Reverend, the time is now for direct action. Talk is good, but like the saying goes, talk is also cheap. It's action that gets results.
I agree with Eddie. It's time to act.
But we must not act with rashness. Our message must be nonviolent.
But Reverend, nonviolence does not seem to be working. And I will tell you, the only thing the white man understands is force. My late mother, Amanda, and I could attest to that. No offense to you.
Not only is none taken, I wholeheartedly agree. What happened to your mother and to you are an outrage. If your parents were still alive, they'd be here with us, ready to march. I'm certain of it. You give me the signal and I can have hundreds of activists down here within hours. And between us, no army in the world will stop us. We will shake the foundations of this rotten society to the core.
Shake it, nothing. Bring it down, all the way down.
This is wrong. The movement is about obtaining justice, not perpetrating violence. Violence only begets violence.
Brother Kane, you have taken us far. You have brought our grievances to the attention of the world and have been there at your side as you would have converted the pulpit into an instrument for mass action. But now you seem to be holding back, and that troubles me.
He's right. The people are backing us. Now let's use them.
You can count on the sisters to do their part too.
You're making it hard for me. You know that my detractors are accusing me of demagoguery. If we go your route, we could lose public support. We can't afford that. Don't you understand that?
I understand it, but I'm not a politician. I'm an activist, and as far as I'm concerned, it is now payback time.
Do not use the cause to settle personal accounts.
From off stage comes the sound of knocking on the door. Everyone is startled.
Who could that be?
I don't know. Were you expecting anyone, Eddie?
No, me neither.
Again, the sound of knocking on the door.
Whoever it is, they are persistent.
See who it is.
Abercrombie opens the door. Walton enters. He is alone. Everyone is shocked.
Good day. May I join you?
Why, Governor, it's a pleasure to see you. Where, pray tell, is the purpose of your visit?
I understand that you have certain grievances that you wish to bring to my attention, so here I am.
Don't trust him. He's got something up his sleeve.
If you'd like, you can check my sleeves. In fact, I'll even take off my shirt, though I would consider such an action to be somewhat unconventional.
Would you care to sit?
Thank you for asking. As you can see, I'm here alone. No assistants, no reporters, no snoops, no spies. Just me. And I'm all ears.
Well, Governor, needless to say, we are somewhat shocked by this visit.
Why so? Are you not part of my constituency? However, I do not recognize that gentleman there. Who may you be?
My name is Edward Lefkowitz.
You're not from these parts, are you?
I'm from New York City.
Then you must be here for the climate. A lot of New Yorkers like to come down to our lovely state. We have such a mild climate here.
We really have nothing to say to you.
Wait, is that true?
Look, Governor, you caught us unawares. You know the issues.
I do. Well, what issues are you referring to?
Governor, please stop mincing words. You know quite well what grieves us.
Yes, I heard something about that. Unfortunately, whenever you protest, I'm always out of town, and so I only hear about them from the news. And I don't need to tell you how the media can get things twisted.
Governor, we're already on to you, so you need not continue this charade. Why don't you just get to the point?
My dear lady, your family and mine go back a long way together, and so I am genuinely surprised by your hostility.
Oh, get off it already, will you? You know perfectly well what we demand. To stop being treated as second-class citizens.
Those are mighty fine words, and it just so happens that I am in full accord with your aims.
If you feel that way, then why haven't you acted?
To do what?
Governor, it's a known fact that in the state, people of color are being denied access to the voting booth.
Is that so? I thought that matter was resolved by the 15th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
You're mocking us, Governor. You know damn well that the Negro has been effectively barred from voting.
Effectively barred from voting? That sounds harsh. Every state has the right to set eligibility requirements for voting. That's in the U.S. Constitution, too.
Then what do you want from us?
What exactly are you doing here with these illustrious people?
Like you said, Governor, I'm just visiting.
You know, young man, back in 1920, another young man from New York City came to this community and caused a lot of trouble. Are you planning to follow in his footsteps?
I know who you're talking about, Bruce Davenport.
You know your history. That's good. You also know that he disappeared?
Don't you mean he was murdered?
Did I say that?
Frankly, your tone is beginning to trouble me.
My dear sir, I'm just talking. I just don't want to see anything bad happen to your friend.
Meaning?
Why all this divisiveness?
Governor, when you start talking in circles, we know that you're hiding something.
My dear, as the saying goes, I'm an open book.
Then how come what happened to me and my friend was swept under the rug?
Let's not bring that up.
Why not? What happened to me and my friend and to my mother can happen to any one of us.
Tanisha, you know the job of the police is to enforce the law, and from what I understand, you got off quite lightly.
I was a victim of police brutality.
Is that why you are now associating with radicals? To use them to pursue a personal vendetta against the state?
Not against the state, against you and your rotten family.
Oh, so it's personal, not political.
Governor, we are digressing. Let us keep on track.
Yes, let's do that.
We are demanding that all unnecessary restrictive restrictions on voting be rescinded immediately.
To agree to that would give unscrupulous elements in our community a license to commit voter fraud.
We're not talking about voter fraud. We're talking about removing obstacles that prevent law-abiding citizens from voting.
But preventing voter fraud is a key responsibility of government.
You have an answer for everything, don't you? I told you not to trust him.
What have I said that gives you cause not to trust me?
Because you're a conniver, that's why. You know it, I know it, we know it. It's part of your family history.
A history that the Trescott family shares.
Mr. Governor, as you know, our grievances are of a long-standing duration, and our demands for justice have been repeatedly ignored. And so naturally, we harbor skepticism over whether you are serious about wanting to bring these matters to a mutually satisfactory conclusion.
Oh, I'm serious. You can count on that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I too want to bring these things to a mutually satisfactory conclusion. The state has a long history of working cooperatively with the Negro community. I know of no reason why we cannot work together again.
Then what is it you propose?
I'll get to that, don't you worry.
I'm not worrying. Rather, I'm perplexed as to what brought you here now. I'm not sure that there's anything new to talk about. We want the right to vote, period.
Well, you can't get more straightforward than that. But how does his presence help you accomplish your aim?
He is an ally for our cause.
That's right. I support their demands for justice.
And what do you get in return?
What do you mean?
Is my question not straightforward?
Governor, you're missing the point. Mr. Lefkowitz's presence is not the issue.
Oh, I beg to differ with you. I believe his presence is the issue. According to federal authorities, he is the head of a known radical organization with ties to Havana and Moscow. Isn't that true?
Governor, don't believe what you read.
So you're telling me my information is incorrect?
Look, I'm not here to defend my organization.
Then why are you here? I ask because, frankly, I resent that you're trying to take advantage of these good people to promote your Marxist political agenda. Do I make myself clear?
Governor, if you're suggesting that I'm a communist or serving as a front for communist agitators, then please permit me to assure you that you are mistaken.
Reverend, I'm a man who judges others by the friends they keep. So what conclusion am I supposed to draw?
And what about you?
What about me?
You and the Ku Klux Klan.
I knew that sooner or later you'd bring that up. My dear, reports of me hobnobbing with the Ku Klux Klan are mere rumors. Has it ever occurred to you that my political base may be somewhat broader in scope? Is there any record of me ever having attended a Klan meeting or taken a penny from the Klan?
First, don't call me dear, and second, just because there's no photograph of you with a Klan doesn't mean you're not part of that crowd. You do have a record of covering your tracks.
Oh, believe what you want. The fact is that I was elected into office by a large majority of the electorate, and...
You mean a large majority of the white electorate?
No, I mean the entire electorate.
Look, Governor, we're starting to drift away from the main issue, which I believe is the reason you paid us this unexpected visit.
Yes, perhaps you're right. So let me get right to the point. I'm willing to consider all of your demands if you agree to two simple conditions. First, tell all your followers in the street to immediately disband. And second, each one of you in this room welcome me as a friend, to which of course I will reciprocate. In return for your friendship, I will appoint each one of you positions of high authority inside my administration.
That's it?
Isn't that enough?
Sir, you're wasting our time.
I want to make you members of my team.
No, you don't. All you want to do is buy our cooperation. That's politics, as usual. And if that's the best you can do, then, Governor, we have nothing more to discuss.
Sir, you are misconstruing my motives.
No, your motives are crystal clear. And if you continue trifling with us, then the people, in their righteous indignation, may take matters into their own hands. You have been warned.
Freedom now or burn it down.
Freedom now or burn it down.
Freedom now or burn it down.
Freedom now or
burn it down. Freedom now or burn it down. Freedom now or burn it down. Freedom now or burn it down. Freedom now or burn it down. Freedom now or burn it down. Freedom now or burn it down.
While the others are shouting, Walton takes a sheet of paper from his pocket and starts writing. When he finishes,
From the office of the governor, an executive order. By the power vested in me as governor of this state, I hereby declare as null and void all rules, regulations, and statutes that have barred citizens of color from exercising their legal right to vote, and solemnly pledge that such a glaring injustice shall never occur again. This executive order shall go into effect immediately. Signed, Azariah Walton III, Governor. Is this for real?
It's for real.
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Today, we have witnessed a miracle, the triumph of justice over injustice. His will be done.
If you don't mind me asking, Governor, what made you, of all people, do this great thing?
I saw the light, decided to do what was right, and remembered something my grandpappy used to say. Things are a-changing.
They sure are. This time for the better.
My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has moved the fateful lightning of his terrible sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. The end.